When you scroll through a sea of pre-built gaming rigs, the glossy photos and ready-to-play tags look tempting, but more often than not the first game you launch ends up looking choppy. The fans whine louder than a cheap air conditioner, and you realize you've paid for a pretty box rather than real performance. I've been there, and the frustration of spending a weekend setting up a system that feels like a step back is exactly why I'm doing this deep dive. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What makes a pre-built desktop worth the money is not just the headline specs on the page, but how those components behave when you actually sit down and fire up a title, stream a video, or just browse the web with a few tabs open. I've spent the last week pulling apart a handful of similar machines, reading forums where owners complain about cramped cases, limited upgrade paths, and noisy cooling solutions. That research helped me spot the real trade-offs before I even powered on the STGAubron unit. The gaming PC market is crowded with budget-friendly options that cut corners in ways that don't show up on the spec sheet. Manufacturers often use lower-tier motherboards, cheap power supplies, or a cramped airflow design that keeps temperatures high under load. Those hidden compromises become obvious the moment you push a demanding game past 1080p, or you try to run a second monitor for a Discord chat while you game. Knowing that, I wanted to see if the STGAubron system actually delivers a balanced experience or just another pretty-looking box. The STGAubron comes with an AMD Ryzen 5 5500, a 6-core chip that runs up to 4.2 GHz. In real-world tests, that CPU handles most modern titles at medium to high settings without bottlenecking the GPU, and it's more than capable for everyday tasks like video editing or running a few Docker containers. It's not the absolute top tier, but for a pre-built in this price range, it offers a solid foundation that won't feel dated after the next 2-year game cycle. Pair that with an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3056GB, and you have a graphics card that shines at 1080p. I ran a session of Valorant and Apex Legends at 144 Hz, and the frame rate stayed comfortably above 100 frames per second, which is plenty for competitive play. However, when I tried Cyberpunk 2077 on high settings, the average dipped into the low 30s, and the RTX 3050 struggled to keep shadows and ray tracing effects smooth. If you're a casual gamer who mostly plays esports titles or indie games, the GPU is more than enough. If you want ultra-high settings on the newest AAA releases, you'll feel its limits quickly. Memory and storage are where the STGAubron tries to future-proof itself. It ships with 32 GB of DDR4 RAM, which is double what most gamers need right now. In practice, that extra headroom means you can keep a game, a streaming encoder, and a web browser all running without hitting a bottleneck, something I noticed when I opened OBS while playing Fortnite. The 1TB NVMe SSD also feels generous. Load times for Elden Ring dropped from minutes on a traditional HDD to under 10 seconds, and the extra space saved me from juggling external drives for my mod libraries. Connectivity is another area that often gets glossed over in marketing copy. This unit includes Wi-Fi 6, a 5 GHz band, and Bluetooth 5.2, so my wireless headset stayed synced with less latency, and the Wi-Fi held steady even when multiple devices were on the same network. The rear I/O. For everyday use. The biggest question is not just whether STGAubron gaming PC computer desktop, AMD Ryzen 5 5500 up to 4.2 GHz, GeForce RTX 3056G, 32G DDR4, 1T SSD, Wi-Fi 6 5G, and BT 5.2, RGB Fan X4. Windows 11 Home has impressive specs, but whether those specs match the way you actually plan to use it. In the gaming_PC category, buyers should compare the headline features against their daily routine, setup space, compatibility needs, and how often they will use the product after the first week. The strongest reasons to consider it are tied to these verified details. This gaming PC desktop is well suited for a variety of tasks, including gaming. This high-performance gaming computer desktop is capable of running a wide range. PC gaming system, gaming desktop connectivity. Those points matter because they affect the real buying decision after the excitement of the product page is gone. If those are the exact things you need, this becomes a much easier product to justify.